We're going to tell you about an officer-involved shooting, an officer-involved incident that took place in this area right across the street. Officers were on patrol around 6:30 p.m. when they noticed a vehicle that matched the description of a robbery vehicle from Claremont, Florida. And I'm going to let the chief give you more information about that. Chief?
Thank you, Sheriff. Good evening. So like Sheriff said, tonight officers received some information that there was a vehicle up here that was using a couple armed robberies down in Lake County, just outside Orlando. And as they were patrolling the area, one of our officers came across the vehicle that matched the description. While he was up making contact and looking in, the vehicle was empty. He was verifying the vehicle. The guy that turned out to be our suspect was walking toward him, walking the dog. He asked him, he said, "Hey, is this your vehicle?" The guy said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, do me a favor, sit down, I need you to sit here." The guy just kind of ignored him, stayed on his phone, tried to push past him to get into the vehicle. The officer grabbed a hold of him. The guy turned away and pulled harder. He got into the front of the vehicle. He turned around outside, and he had a gun in his hand, and he advanced on the officer. The officer pulled his weapon and fired a few times and struck the suspect, and he went down. The suspect stayed on the ground. He dropped the gun at that point. Our officer took cover, held cover on the guy until backup was able to arrive. Once backup was there and they were able to safely render aid, they did so. JFRD responded, picked him up, and they took him to a local hospital. From what I understand, he has gone through surgery already. He's in a stable condition at this point. He was shot in the chest, and I can give you his information, and I'll tell you some more about him in a second. So the suspect's name is Brenton A, and I'll spell the last name. It's Paquin, white male, date of birth April 2nd of 1987. Like I said, he was involved in 2 armed robberies down in Lake County, outside of Orlando. While we've been on scene tonight, we have verified he's also a person of interest from a murder up in Vermont. They're still working out the details on that, so I don't know much more on that, but he is a person of interest in that murder. The officer involved tonight is Officer Jay Collier, ID 76310. This is his first officer-involved shooting. He's been with the department since 2015, so approximately 9 years. The state attorney is on scene conducting their independent investigation, and this is our 4th officer-involved shooting of the year. With that, we can take any questions.
So you said the suspect was involved in 2 armed robberies and he's a suspect of a murder in Vermont.
He's a person of interest in the murder. I don't know exactly what his part was in that murder up there. They're still working their details on that.
And you said he advanced at the officer with the gun.
Correct.
Pointed at him.
Correct.
And was the altercation outside near his vehicle or?
Right to the left side of the vehicle, right where the truck was packed in. It was backed in, sorry.
And he was the only officer there when he started to investigate?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
He was alone.
And then, was this on the left side of the store? The white truck that's on that side?
It's on the far side of the store.
Side? Okay.
Yep.
And then we were speaking to other people earlier, and they said they saw other officers in the area. Was there other officers in this parking lot that advanced besides the one who was already over there?
There's all other officers that are in the area, but none were involved in the incident until
Right.
afterwards. They all responded, but they were nearby.
Okay.
They were in the area.
And the suspect just shot in the chest.
Yes. Well, from what I've heard so far, yeah.
So let me say this real briefly. We are very, very fortunate tonight. A police officer could have been killed, and it wasn't as simple as him pointing the gun at him. There was a lot more to it. That's just a part of it. And you guys are going to see that very soon, as we can get that out to you. But don't come to Jacksonville. Don't commit robberies in Jacksonville. Don't come to Jacksonville if you commit robberies, because we're going to take action. And we're just happy that our police officer's okay, because it could have been a very, very bad situation. But good training, alert police officer who was doing what he should do. Officers were having a roll call not too far away, and when this all took place, but it wasn't as simple as him just turning around with a gun in his hand. It was very, very close, probably as close as you and I are, if not a little closer. So this is how these things happen. So I have to stress that we are fortunate tonight that we're not dealing with a critically injured police officer, but we are dealing with a critically injured bad guy, and that's what he is. So don't come to Jacksonville. Don't do it here, because we just don't put up with that stuff. All right, thank you.
Did he commit any robberies in this area, or was it just the Orlando?
None to our knowledge.
Okay.
None to our knowledge. But we're not going to let him hang around here and do that here. So we have a zero tolerance attitude toward that kind of stuff.
Do we know the age, sex, and race of this male?
Yes, he gave it, but I'll let him give it to you again.
So white male, date of birth is 4/2 of 87. I don't know how many times he was hit. There were multiple shots. They're still working the scene over there now.
Multiple shots, potentially more than one wound, but we're still that's still early in the process.
And no one else was injured?
No one
Just-
else is injured.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thanks.
Thank
you.
you.